Welcome back, guys. Today we were talking about micro compacts as your first carry gun. I'm Dave. Got Cordell with us here today.
Appreciate it.
Are you for or against?
I'm for a micro compact as a first carry gun for the overall concealability of the firearm. Because most people for that carry gun want that easy to conceal, slimline firearm that you can throw in a waistband and it's not going to print, or throw in a bag and carry.
Yeah, interesting point. So I generally am on the opposite side where I'm not so much for it, simply because overall rule of thumb, it's going to be a harder gun to shoot, especially for a new shooter.
Okay.
Short sight radius. A lot of times they're snappier. It's not what they're used to. They're not used to having a gun in their hands.
Right.
But from your point, the concealability, of course, much easier to conceal. Like the M&P.
A Bodyguard 2.0.
Yeah, Bodyguard 2.0. I mean, super concealable, fits very comfortably in the hand. But when you talk about sight radius, if we don't have a dot on that gun and we're not starting from that point, I think it can be difficult for the shooter because you have such a short sight radius and you're trying to deal with that. So I'm just looking at it from the experience from the combative shooter point of view, and you're trying to teach somebody either sighted fire or from concealment, you're trying to teach them to be on target quickly. It's difficult with that short sight radius for them.
Absolutely. That is a very good point. But I mean, that is something that can be overcome
100%.
with proper training and actually going out, testing some of these firearms either before purchase or going out and seeking out the proper training.
Right. So your experience in the gun shop, when somebody's walking through the door, that first shooter that comes in there, they say they're a new shooter. This is my first handgun.
Yeah.
A lot of times they have something in mind already.
Right.
And you have to steer them kind of in another direction because they sometimes really don't understand what they want. They've been told. And I guess where I'm going with it is a lot of times you get the guy and his wife, or the guy and his girlfriend that come in, and she wants this the cute colored Kimber, right? Cool, done. I want one too.
Right.
But if she's going to use that gun as a concealed carry gun, it's probably not the best first choice.
Absolutely. I always try and pivot away from something like that. Yes, the fun colors and everything are fantastic, but something like a Bodyguard 2.0, like we had mentioned, is a phenomenal option. And there are options out there now that you can throw a dot on that, whether it's the Viridian or Gideon optics makes the other one. So there are options out there that if you realistically really need a dot on that small firearm, you can do it. Do I think you need a dot on a micro compact? Absolutely not. No. Because realistically, in that self-defense scenario, what good is that dot going to do you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's been recently proven in some videos that, from that 3 to 7 yard range, we don't need any sights. I mean, we do.
Yeah.
But let's not be realistic.
Being realistic about it, you don't really need a dot in that defensive scenario.
Right.
Because you're at such a close distance. By the time you bring it up and find that dot, it's useless.
Cool. Like what I'm thinking about other micro compacts that, like, in the store, like, what do you see?
We still see a lot of people that really like the Ruger LCP Max.
Yeah.
It is in my opinion, an obsolete firearm in a modern world, because it is that short, stubby gun that's hard to get a grip on. It's not a pleasant gun to shoot. There are better options out there in that kind of like micro compact size. You can do something like a 365 or a Springfield Hellcat if you want something just a little bit bigger, a little easier to shoot, or Bodyguard 2.0, or I'll walk back the point about the LCP Max being obsolete because they did just come out with the bigger grip for those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most people don't know that. They do still remember when the Ruger LCP Maxes were the hottest thing in a micro compact.
Right.
It's not.
So you mentioned the P365, still, great option. I have one of those myself.
Absolutely.
Put it has a Wilson combat grip on it. So, I mean, it just kind of changes the ergonomics of the gun to feel a little bit better, but yet you still end up with that small, short, it's just compact, right?
Yes.
Can you think off the top of your head, what is the retail price point on the Bodyguard 2.0?
I want to say they're like $399 if you go for the standard one. The Performance Center one, which I don't have any experience with, but I don't think it's all that much of a better shooting gun.
Yeah.
Because it's ported, but it's a little tiny sliver port.
Yeah.
So I think that's like $100 more. So, I mean, at that point, you could buy a used P365.
Right. And I guess that's where I was kind of going with it.
Yeah.
That, at that price point, it's amazing. A lot of people are going to dog on it, of course, because it's a 380 and, 9mm being the standard.
Right.
You have to have at least that. And we both probably disagree that you have to have that, especially if you're, I'd rather have that 380 to defend my life, especially as comfortable as that Bodyguard is to choose. We're going to sound like we're selling for Smith & Wesson right now, but it is. It's just it's a great gun.
They made a phenomenal firearm.
They did. And in a space that existed, but not on that level. Not as for as thin as that gun is and what it feels like in your hand. It's hard to beat.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything on the market that's as comfortable and as small as that gun is.
Right.
But yeah, like if you really want a 9mm, cool, do a 365. You can do a Springfield Hellcat. If you want to go slightly bigger, do a Glock 43X or a 48.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for that micro compact, I would always lean away from that Hellcat and a little bit more towards the 365.
Yeah.
Just because there's just something about a SIG pistol.
Yeah.
They just work, they shoot. They're just really nice ergonomically.
For myself, and I don't want to dog on any particular firearm, but the Springfield, that particular gun, the high bore access on it has just been, it's not that it's challenging. It's not that it's that difficult to shoot. It's not. It changes things for you. It just feels different than most other things that you just put in your hand to shoot.
Absolutely.
It's just different. The SIG, of course, the P365, or, you just mentioned the 43X.
Yeah.
Another great option. And Glock finally comes out with 15-round mags that are factory for that gun, which, there was options before, but now you can put a 15-round magazine in that.
Come with 15 rounds. I mean, it only took them, 5 years, 6 years to finally catch up to the trend.
Right. Yeah, pretty crazy. I don't know, when I think about some of the other guns that are out there that would be in that micro compact, there's the Caltech, which, there is a couple of other options, but I mean, not that we would consider in the reliable carry, everyday scenario.
No, and you brought up Caltech. I don't want to have to use stripper clips to reload if I absolutely need to, But no, as far as like micro compacts, I really think that there are only the small handful that are worth their money.
Right. So if we were to pick our top three right now, we probably only talked about 4 or 5, but if we picked our top 3, mine would probably be the Bodyguard. That would be my number 1. I'd probably go with I might go with the 43X as my number 2, and then the P365 as the number 3, only because I get just a little bit more barrel length out of the 43X than I do with the
365. Absolutely.
That would be my top 3.
Yeah. I'm going to be pretty close there with you. I would probably do the 365 over the 43X, but our number ones are going to be pretty much the same.
Yeah.
That Bodyguard 2.0, 365, and a 43X. And an honorable mention, the Smith & Wesson, the Shield Plus. Phenomenal
Bring that
firearm.
up.
Yeah, phenomenal firearm. I think it still has some viability in modern day, even though it's lacking some features that the other ones have out the box, like your rail for a light and things of that nature, or even like an optics cut. You can find them out there, but they're kind of few and far between. But I think the three that we've kind of narrowed it down to, in my opinion, and seems like your opinion, are some of the best micro compacts on the market.
So wrapping this up, if we were to decide that this is what I want to do, I'm going to buy one of those three guns from a dollar perspective, from the retail side.
Okay.
Do you have a number on the top of your head that are we like $400 for the pistol? Because we can look for some things used. You're right. Absolutely. You have to buy it brand new.
Yeah. I think for the money and the overall size of the firearm, I think I would lean more towards the Bodyguard 2.0. And it, like you said, it really does sound like we are shilling this firearm. But I mean, it is just that phenomenal of a gun. Like if you haven't gotten a chance to shoot one, I would say find somebody that owns one and go out and shoot it. And you'll honestly be surprised about it. Like, it is an insanely flat shooting gun with a really nice trigger in it for the size of the firearm.
Right.
And for the price point, I think that's the way I'm going to lean, more so than going for a 365, which if you're going new is a little bit on the higher end, where that Glock 43X is kind of like the middleman between the two.
So the new carry person, they can buy that gun, a holster, and maybe even a belt or something for less than $500 probably.
Yeah, depending on where.
And that's a lot of money, of course.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, depending on where you're buying it from, how they price it, and ammo between 380 and 9mm, fairly similar in my experience as far as price goes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you guys make a holster for a Bodyguard 2.0?
We do make a Bodyguard 2.0 holster. It's basically this holster. We can make it in this holster with an extra magazine, but we make the Minute. This is the Trident 2, but we make the Minuteman, which is without the sidecar.
Okay.
Which just super slim profile, easy conceal. Great option. And both of these are right in that $100 range. So get that with your gun.
And boom, and you're ready to carry.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, thanks. Appreciate your knowledge. Appreciate you stopping over today. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll do this again on a Tuesday.
Maybe.